Hi, everyone. Welcome to Arts for the Health of It. I'm your host, Richard Wilmore.
And I'm your other host, Constanza Rader. And we have some really fun guests with us today. We have Michelle Burke and Lilamani Silva with us today. And they are on a mission to help you create more joy in your life. And we're excited to talk with them because they have some really practical resources to share with you that's backed by some awesome research, too.
Yes. I have a question then for you, Stanzi, since we're talking about joy.
Oh boy.
What is the last thing that
Oh
brought
no.
you joy?
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to ask
Yeah.
about my alliteration that you hate.
No. Not the joy generators. That is a different podcast episode.
Okay. See, joy generators, I just think that's great. It just has such musicality. Anyway, he hates it. That's fine.
That can be your next album title.
Okay, great. When it's just my project.
Yes.
What was your question? What was the last thing that brought me joy?
Yeah.
Ooh. Watching Lilamani struggle with her camera brought me so much joy.
So, just as a warning for everybody who's watching, Lilamani can't get her camera to work, and she could get it to work, but it looked like this, and she was upside down. So she will be doing this interview not as a bat, but as a black screen when she's out here. But
I mean, I thought it'd be great for her to do it as, Mary Poppins.
I think it would bring people joy if she could figure it out.
I think so too. It's just so relatable. We've all been there with our tech mishaps.
Thankfully, she has a beautiful voice, so we'll just get to listen to her.
Exactly.
And we won't be able to see her. But Michelle is in full view in camera with a beautiful bookshelf behind her, and I'm kind of jealous of her background.
Well, you want to introduce them, Richard?
Yes, I want to show you what brought me joy recently, though, first.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Because that's okay. I didn't even tell you we were doing this. So I completely forgot about this while I was in the hospital, but I had someone send a video, a teacher friend of mine, and I was going through, I think, my phone, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this. And so I just want to show you, you have seen this because you were in the video, but this brought me a tremendous amount of joy recently.
Oh no.
Good morning, Richard. I hope you're feeling well. I just wanted to let you know that I did have planned to come and visit you in the hospital. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it over the weekend, and I don't know if I'll be able to make it this week, but I wanted you to know I was talking to my students last week about that I was going to come visit you, and a couple of my students wanted to make you cards, so I'm sending you a video in case I don't get there, but this particular one is from Philip, and as you can see, he was real creative. And when you open it up, it says, "Get well, hope you feel better," and he drew you a little puppy. And I have another card also from Aislinn. She wanted to draw you a picture, and she wanted you to know that it was from her. And she says, "Hope you feel better soon, stay safe." And she drew this. It's our logo, and I hope it brings a smile to your face and that you'll be feeling better and rested, and just wanted you to know you were on our minds and our hearts.
And that's so cute.
That's so cute.
Little strangers made me cards while I was in the hospital, and it did bring me joy. And then I cried for the first 5 times I watched it, but it was so cute. And so if you're listening to it, go on our YouTube channel or Facebook and look at the video of the cards that they made. All right. That was it. Also, what brings me joy is that I'm down to 1 bandage. I got rid of my chest bandage yesterday. I no longer have to have that, and my leg is cleared. And so we're 2 more things: my hand and my arm, and then back to normal life.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. I promise. All right. So they'll tell you all about how they met, but Michelle and Lilamani, wow, I need more coffee, are 2 women from vastly different cultures. And they came together, I feel like kind of how we came together, like complete randomness. And they've created this beautiful product called Joy Cards. And so we're going to start the show and talk to them all about this is what they are, Joy Cards. They sent me a copy of them, and they're just like beautiful and amazing. So should we bring them out? Let's start the show.
Come along with me, and I know you'll see that a song changes everything.
Not that it's
Hello.
not. It's a little distracting. It feels like some like Big Brother's watching us in the corner.
Yes, it's
Hello,
very glad.
ladies. Welcome to
Hello,
the
hello.
program.
Hello.
I want to start with the story of how you two met, where you were at, how you met, how you connected, and then where you thought the need for joy cards came from, and why you decided to make it.
Wow, that's a lot of questions.
Well,
Just all the things.
answer those, and then it's over.
Let's go. All right, Lalonde.
I'd say serendipitous meeting, wasn't it, Michelle? I was there working for Discovery, filming at the time, and Michelle will tell her own story.
Oh, all righty then.
That was how they met. Right.
And that wraps it up, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thank you,
See you
Discovery
tomorrow.
Channel. Bye.
It's been a lot of fun. We actually met in Seattle, Washington. I was a keynote for Microsoft's Worldwide Conference. And as Lilamani was saying, she was producing for Discovery. And we met through a friend. And the minute we met, it was like this instant connection. And the thing that brought us together right away was what we call our ruckus laughter. We both love to laugh, and we are not ashamed to laugh out loud.
Absolutely. It's essential,
that's
isn't
really
it?
that's how we met, and we discovered that we actually have a lot in common, despite the fact that I'm from the US and she's from New Zealand and lives part-time in London. And here we are from, completely different places, and yet we have all this, and we have like our growing up, we have some similarities. Our passions, what else, Lilamani? Our mission in life.
Absolutely, yeah. Our mission in life. We have a similar purpose, don't we? We want to make a difference, I think, to do something for the wider world, which is how the joy cards came about as well.
Maybe that's why your camera's upside down, because you're in New Zealand.
It explains it all.
Just
It
saying.
is. I'm on the other side of the world. Well, I'm not now, actually. I'm presently in London, so.
No, never mind then.
That was a good theory.
Sorry.
It has been an interesting ride, I have to say. What's interesting is you may have, sometimes Michelle and I think our friendship has grown over the last 20 years. It's been a very powerful friendship, actually, that has endured because we've worked together for a very long time. But we are so very different as well. But, you can make things work. I mean, sometimes I do believe, we speak a different language. I might speak, we think we're speaking French or something, but because we come from such different angles, but we're also very similar. So that's been a big bond, actually, and a reason for doing what we've done over the years. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. So you guys met, sparks flew, best friends for life. And how did you get from there to these joy cards?
Well, that happened during the pandemic. So I got a bad case of COVID, and Lilamani was in New Zealand taking care of her parents. And we were, like everybody else, we were in lockdown and stressed out and wondering what the frick was going on. Like, how long was this going to last? And it was so bizarre. And, I know I was super stressed and worried, and I know she was too. And we were like, how do we help ourselves? Get our joy back, figure out a way to focus on things that are positive rather than all the things that were in the news and what was going on in the world. And so we challenged each other to do something that brought us joy. And that kind of kicked it off. The start of how joy cards came to be was just us finding our own joy again. And then through that, we thought, hey, this helped us. Maybe we could do something that could help others find their joy and get their joy back. And the joy cards came about, right, Lilamani?
Yeah, I suppose you can say that's history because, and also I've been painting and, the joyous things in my life. And I've been painting for a very long time, probably as a child, forever. And I think that was, you don't realize that it's a natural gift. You just assume it's something that you do. And I think that too is where the creativity and, arts for health, you don't realize that what you're doing and what talents you have are talents actually. And so I think over the years, Michelle has noticed that I had a lot of paintings under my bed, and they're just sitting there aimlessly. I always thought I would sort of probably die with all my paintings on top of me, sort of like Van Gogh.
Not dramatic in any way, apparently.
But we sort of saw the two come together, really, the two align with concept of words and actions, and how it had made us feel, the good stuff, what we call the good stuff, the joyful stuff, which you need to throw into life, really. Otherwise, you just can't get through the tough stuff without the good stuff.
I'm just thinking now that you said this came about during the pandemic, which has not been around for that long, and I'm looking at, they were nice enough to send me the joy cards, and I'm looking at all of these. Every card in here has custom artwork, and there's of course a glare because we can't do anything without a ring light now. But okay, well, that's not helpful. I'll just put that up. Like, all of these cards have different artwork. How long did this take then to actually come together? I mean, this is not just like a quick little design. These are like intricate paintings on the back of each of these cards.
Well, Lilamani actually did a lot of these beforehand. That's why I had suggested, let's use her artwork instead of like a graphic designer, coming up with something that would be on the back. And I do have some of the cards. I could probably show some too, Richard, if you.
I give up.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, there we go. Beautiful.
See, this is difficult.
Yeah, we can do a dual thing.
Oh,
There
pretty.
We'll take photos and put them on our social media too.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. She really is talented. Like, there's just like, she's genuinely gifted. And
I
so
love that we're talking about her like she's not here, because she's.
I know. I do that because she's embarrassed sometimes. And I'm like, if I had a talent like this, I'd be like, hello, look at me.
Yeah.
But she really, and I'm, look at this.
We did take 2 years actually, though, to put it all together.
Oh, dear.
We thought we were guided in some way, because we managed to get a hold of a publisher quite quickly, and that doesn't happen every day. In fact, it's a very rare thing. So we definitely had an idea of how we'd like it to look. And we painted, we wrote. I mean, we worked from afar. I worked from New Zealand, and Michelle is in the US. So we always, Google and all the modern technology that we have today has helped us create what we
so good at cameras and taking advantage of all the things.
You can imagine how difficult, Richard, it's been looking at her upside down or black screen this whole time.
You don't even know what she actually looks like. So, can you kind of explain to everybody, like, because they're all numbered. So
yes.
In your head, or do you go in order of them? Do you go is it like a deck of cards, pick a card, any card? I want to know how you think I should use them.
Well, I think you should use them any way you like to use them. That they were actually designed to use in multiple ways, right? Like, there isn't just one way to use them, which is what makes it, I think, more fun. Is you could just randomly pick a card, Richard, right now, like,
I'm gonna do it.
Right? Okay. Okay. You ready?
Am I picking your card or one of mine?
You're picking one of yours, but we're pretending like you're picking one of mine.
I picked number 11.
Ooh, save for a rainy day. Love it.
Wow.
You go and you the card. Do you like the health benefits of what is happening, what you're supposed to do with the card? So it's all like this little. It's so exciting for me. I love it. Because each one has a health benefit. Can we talk about that a little bit? Like what they actually do for you, like lowering stress and preventing burnout, stuff like that.
Yeah, could you give us some examples of what might be on the cards and their corresponding health benefits?
Do you want me to read some of them? I don't know.
Sure.
Okay. Lamani, do you have your guidebook handy?
I do. I do.
Why don't we each pick one and read?
Okay.
Here, Stancy, do you want to pick one?
Yeah.
I'll take.
Pick a number,
that
1
one.
through.
Thank you very
Pick a
much.
number. Pick a number, and I'll send you a picture of it.
Oh, good
17.
idea. 1 through 48.
Of course, I do. Put it in Slack because I don't have my phone right here.
Okay.
So pick a number between 1 and 48.
You said 17.
17.
Oh, 17.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna like this one.
Oh, great. Perfect. I'm excited.
Good. I know.
I love games and I love art and I love joy. Like these are all things that I love.
So these cards are a reminder, really, of how to, bring back joy and to really have fun again, really. I think yours is a handmade gift. Your card, number 17. Handmade
Oh, it
gift.
is.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
I like
about
it too.
creating creating and a lasting memory.
well, that Richard is correct. That is one that I would like.
There,
Can we
I just
maybe
sent you.
maybe like as a way to intro talking about the specifics in the cards, like, well, maybe this is going too far. The wrong direction? Well, not the wrong direction. Why do you think this is so? Why do you think we need to be reminded of how to create joy in our lives?
I think it's because we're just so caught up. We're so busy being busy and stressed. I mean, our stress levels are higher than they've ever been in U.S. history, literally, based on all the things that are going on in the world. And I think people don't have healthy coping strategies. And so we lose sight of what's joyful, what's fun, what's, what brings us joy, or we don't even think we have time for it. Like somehow we think we have to just check off all these to-dos, and get things done, as opposed to taking time for ourselves and saying, wait a second, what did I do when I was a kid? I mean, Lilamani, like when we started out, we each challenged each other when we started out to do things that were different, that brought us joy. And we had to go back and think about, oh yeah, what are the things that make us feel good, right? It makes us feel good when we're joyful. And it's also contagious, right, Lilamani?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's a way of releasing stress, obviously, but lightening a mood and making yourself feel better on a daily basis. It's we say joy makes the busy day better, because we all think we don't have enough time. We don't have 15 minutes or even 30 minutes to give ourselves something back. We have to give ourselves permission to have fun. It's a very odd thing, but it's almost like we have to give ourselves permission. And there's we feel like we have to be busy all the time, but busy doing what? I'm not too sure. But, and it's not busy taking care of yourself, or busy having a pamper, or busy doing something creative, something that you've had on your, like you say, on your dream list for years or something like that. But yeah, you just forget how important it is to give back to yourself.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere something like overworking yourself should not be a badge of honor.
Yes, exactly.
You should, like that should not be what you brag about. Like, oh my gosh, I worked 16 hours today. Well, that's nice for you.
And that's what's so weird. What you just said, it literally is like an epidemic of that. Like we've, especially in America, we do take all this pride in how many hours we've worked a day, or if we skipped lunch during the day. It's like, oh my gosh, how crazy is this? That I know in my coaching practice, trying to get people to get out of their office during their day to go take a walk or to go have lunch is like literally trying to unglue somebody from their chair.
Well, I think I know sometimes when I resist doing things that are fun and pleasurable and joyful, there's this narrative in my head that's saying, oh, you don't have time for that, or oh, that's frivolous, or oh, you should be doing something more important. But when I take time to do that thing, the irony is I am more productive.
Yes.
Like it lightens, everything feels lighter, and it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm just like trudging through my day. Like, and I think it's hard. I think once you can get people over that first, like, hey, just like try this, just try it. Here's a really accessible way to try it. These joy cards are a good option, and just see what happens. Like, do a little experiment. You're gonna lose 3 minutes of your day, and and then if it doesn't work, fine, but try it. I think that's a big, inviting play back into our lives is so important.
Yeah.
Well, and this gives you, for people who are maybe nervous about trying it, this gives you 48 options. So you, like you said, like you can pick which one, go through them and pick like, oh, I'm comfortable with this one to start out with, and this is what I think I can do today. And then once you realize like, oh, that was joyful, or that really helps my day, then maybe you can kind of expand and maybe do something a little bit more difficult the next time on one of the cards, which I think is cool.
We also
we divided them. Sorry,
we
we divided them into 4 areas, like the mind, body, heart, and soul, because we thought that people have different areas that they might need working on. If your mind is hyperactive, maybe you need to calm it down, and maybe there are ways that you can calm it down with some of the cards. Or if you haven't had any, interaction with your family or heart connection. So we talk about heart connections, flirting a little bit, learning how to flirt. And Michelle has a story about the love letter, writing a love letter. It's as simple as that, but it can change your whole perspective, your life, So, I mean, Michelle, you could tell a little story about the love letter.
Okay.
She just put you on the spot, man.
I know. Well, it was during a team building that I was doing. And what the activity was to have everybody take 15 minutes and do something that you could not use your phone or your computer. So no technology. And everybody was walking around like, well, what are we going to do with ourselves for 15 minutes? You would have thought I told them to go run a marathon and then come back. And this one gentleman who's an engineer sat down and wrote a love letter to his wife during the 15 minutes. And the next day he came back and said, I cannot believe what a difference this love letter made. It sparked something new in our 20-year marriage. My wife was overwhelmed with joy, and she reminded me that I used to write love letters to her when we first were married. And then I just stopped. And the whole room completely just broke down. I mean, it was just like applause. And I mean, yeah. And something so small that takes no time really had such a huge lasting impact and made such a big difference. And that's the beauty of joy. Is something so small can have an everlasting impact positively.
Wow.
I love that. And joy is really essential or at the core of our mission at Heartseeing Art too. In our mission, we even say our mission is to create moments of joy, self-expression, and connection. We just happen to do it with people facing serious illness and those who care for them. But it's what we hear time and time again from the people that we work with is I was skeptical about this at first, but I couldn't believe how much it changed my whole day. Just the few minutes we spent with them, or listening to their favorite song while they were in their room, or having a moment to make a window painting, or whatever that little spark is, that it can change everything. And we so undervalue these little moments of joy. And something I love about what you guys have made is, throughout human history, we talk about this on the podcast. We've talked about it a few times, but throughout human history, we've used the process of artification in order to highlight things that are important and special and essential for human survival. We create ritual around it. We create cultural artifacts around these things, and we don't really have good cultural artifacts in the West, in the United States, to cultivate joy in our everyday lives. And so this is a tool in that toolbox, right, of how do we create personal ritual, rhythm, artification around creating moments of joy in our own individual lives and in our rhythm? How do we operationalize? That's the word that Brene Brown uses when talking about like values. Like, how do you say this is what you value? Okay, you value joy. How do you operationalize that? And how does that look when you're, how does that look in your everyday life? And here you've put that tool in someone's hand, and I think that's really powerful.
Yeah.
And you've artified it. You made it so pretty.
In the tiniest little box. So it's
exactly. And I think it's amazing. I think when you're going through the toughest times in your life, you actually need more joy to get you through that tough time. And I think we forget that because we think that we have to suffer. Suffering is a sort of a, if you're going through grief, you feel like you need to go through the grief and you need to be, thoroughly unhappy, sad. But you can balance your sadness with happiness at all times. There needs to be some sort of balance. I think it just helps in the long term.
Yeah. I remember when I first started at Hearts Need Art, when I would go into the hospitals, I thought, this is going to be the most depressing, saddest place. When we worked with oncology patients, and I went in, and there's still people who want to laugh and have joy and play, and I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. Like, it's you have this image when you're not in it of what suffering looks like or what pain looks like, but there's still people trying to live their lives, and part of that is still laughing and having joy. So
I think it's even a purer, like unadulterated, unabashed joy that I think we get to see in the hospital that you wouldn't expect. But people are just busted wide open by illness, by what they've lost, that it sometimes breaks things open in them and frees them in some way to embrace what's really important. And joy is one of those things that rises to the top.
Where can people... Oh, sorry, go.
Well, I was just going to say what you just said was so powerful, because both Lilamani and I have had a lot of loss in our life. And I can only speak for myself, but I would say that it certainly has made me more acutely aware of time and relationships, and how to like live your life to the fullest, like to take advantage of those moments. And what you just said about moments, I mean, we hope that the joy cards allow people to experience more of those moments. We can't tell people, oh, take an hour or two or whatever, because it messes with your mind to think that, oh my gosh, I've got to carve out all this time to do this. No, it could be simply, we talk about the joy gems. It's the little simple pleasures and paying attention to those small things, like drinking your coffee in the morning and actually tasting it, like noticing like, oh yeah, it's not just the coffee, like the caffeine that I'm trying to drink down, or appreciating the hot shower, or as Lilamani and I both love, we have nieces and nephews, and hearing their laughter, like, and just the giggle, and then their laughter makes you laugh. And, it's like those small things, just taking a moment to really appreciate and savor them, because those are the things in the big scheme and the small scheme of life that, at least for me, matters more than anything. And if you can add more of those in to your day-to-day, then your life changes. It literally changes.
Oh, so good. And I think it's one of the tragedies within our culture when you get swept up, and I think we get swept up in trying to get somewhere. And I think what we see a lot with people that we work with that are end of life, especially, they look back and they realize that they had what they wanted all along. They just didn't take time in the moment to take in those moments. Like, we're just hurrying we're like working so hard to get somewhere. We don't even have it well defined, and we're missing heavenly moments along the way. So I appreciate you guys and your work, this invitation to all of us to really fully live in those joyful moments that happen in our everyday, in the quiet, and just the average moments are beautiful and exploding with joy.
Yeah.
Where can people order the joy cards?
They can get them on Amazon or Barnes and Noble, or they can check out their local, bookstores or places and ask and see if they're carrying them.
I think Target as well, aren't they?
Oh,
nice.
Well, if Target has it, then
I don't know why the hit's different, but something about being in
or
Target.
just ask anyway. Because they were me too.
Where are your joy cards?
Exactly.
Mine are right
Why are they?
here.
Why aren't they there?
they just start handing them out to the employees.
I have thought about that, Richard.
That would be, I know. That'd be really great to have.
They'd be helping us tremendously.
Of course.
We do have some people who have told us that they keep them on their desks now, and when people come into their office, they're picking a card, and that's a way to spread joy, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to hopefully give people opportunity to spread joy.
Love it. Beautiful.
How can people best connect with both of you?
Through Michelle's website, actually, the Energy Catalyst Group. You can send a little message. Or we do have various Facebook page for joy cards as well.
Awesome.
We'll put all those in the show notes too, so you have easy access to that. I love this. I know you also, before we leave, because we're almost out of time, I know you have an event on June 11th that I want to make sure you get to talk about.
Oh, that's right. That at the Empower.
Let me remind you.
We'll have to send you that information, the link to that, because I don't have that handy, but I know we're doing it on June 11th. And I think it's a whole day of helping people just feel more empowered. And ours is obviously, our segment is on joy, how to look for the joy gems.
That's awesome.
And
We'll
I
put
think
that.
Michelle and I have hopes of running a few retreats. But so if people are interested, please come to our website and tell us you want to join. And we've got a few retreats, maybe in September, October time.
And if you need musicians or artists or writers for these retreats, I know an organization that is available.
Oh, wonderful.
That'd be fun.
Just throwing that out there.
Brilliant.
I like to travel. All right. Thank you both. So speaking of joy, you both have brought me so much. I was like panicking 5 minutes before I jumped on here, trying to figure all of this out. And then I don't even care anymore because you two were just so fun.
So fun.
So you're my joy cards for today is what I'm saying.
Oh, nice.
Agreed.
And you're ours.
Oh, stop. You're rolling your eyes. We can't see you. You're lying.
Yeah, but I'm not. And I can attest to that. You guys are great. Like, it's been really fun.
Oh, well, we really enjoyed to have you guys on.
It's such a wonderful thing you're both doing, actually.
Yeah,
well, thank
really
you.
It is.
Thanks.
Yeah, we need more people like you in the world.
That's right.
I'll edit that part out before I put it on podcast.
No.
We don't want
Leave it
those
in,
words
Richard,
going
leave
around.
it in.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe wherever you're doing all of that stuff. And we will be back next week with more episodes. Take care, everyone. Keep creating. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Arts for the Health of It, a podcast produced by Hearts Need Art, creative support for patients and caregivers, in partnership with the National Organization for Arts and Health. You can help others learn about the healing power of the arts by subscribing, sharing, and reviewing the podcast wherever you listen or watch. The podcast is hosted by Richard Wilmore, co-hosted by Constanza Rader. Our theme song, Songbird, is written and performed by Natalie Lane. Visit heartsneedart.org to learn how you can support our mission to create joy with people facing life-altering health challenges. Join us next week to learn more ways you can create arts for the health of it. The views expressed on this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views of Hearts Need Art, their staff, board members, or other affiliates. All content is created for informational purposes only. This podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice or to diagnose and treat any health condition. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health professional with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you heard on this podcast.